Rodney Dale's, in Sassoon's book, the Kabbalah Decoded, as a mothership. So this particular mothership is the same consciousness that the crack on Nightline had to say was real 2 months ago. You see what I'm saying? That he had to say was real 2 months ago. So now this Goetia that I talked about, how the melanin inside of the melanin has 72 seals of melanin. You got 7 seals or 7 chakras, and inside the melanin you got 72 seals of melanin, and those seals sit over legions, 30 legions each, and a legion means 10,000. So we talk about a whole civilization. That's also these lores that they talk about in this particular Voodoo. So if you took that and this Goetia, the reason why they sell it, because they realize that a lot of it don't work, but all thing you got to do is fuse the lower energy in with this book, Crawler's book, the Goetia, and reactivate some type of magical system also. But they talk about these gods represent a small point of the black god, of the black dot. Hermetica say that the true gods are on the earth in a circle, in a point, which is also talking about us. They say on the earth or in the earth, but if you were in space, the underworld would be the actual earth that we are in at this particular time. Now, as Sister Delilah and Sister Sharon had gone down to New Orleans, what, like 2 months ago? Last month. Yeah. And on, was that June 23rd that they had the great, they had the day?
Yeah, but June 16th was her...
June 16th was her death day.
Yeah.
Marie Laveau death day. But June 23rd, they had a whole bunch of voodoo priests that came down and did a whole lot of rituals. And the good part about it is I also did my ritual during the same time. These particular Legba, which is the chief god, that everything for the energies to work, this god needs to be invoked first. The Legba Ishu, E-S-H-U, needs to be invoked because he's the gateway for this stuff to come through. And before you leave, if anybody's interested, and I got a couple of these babies, I got a couple of these that you can get. I'm just saying, I give them out or whatever. So the cane that you see right there is also known as the penis of the pole. In Hindu, it would also be Rudra, the penis of Shiva. In Egypt, it would be the penis of Osiris. In the Greek thing, or the Etruscan thing, the black thing would be the penis of Dionysus, led by Cain. And in Rudra has a penis called the Setanu pillar. The Setanu pillar. Led by Rudra, what they do is they suck up the universe through the Setanu pillar. You'll find that in the book Parallel Myths. In the apocalyptic aspect, they talk about how Rudra destroyed the universe. Now, how does this Setanu pillar work? How does it work? The Setanu pillar is nothing but the penis. And you suck up the late energies by having sex and not release it. In turn, you pull up these latent Kalas, Shaktis, and Ojas. You pull up these latent forces, and your body is a form of the universe itself. So the Setanu pillar is the staff of Tahuti, the staff of Moses, the Kundalini, the old Leviathan serpent. But on so many words, all this is connected with also the penis also too. But how this thing is done is basically conserving the amount of sperm you put out. But like I said, you power these entities through lustful sex. So it's not enough to just go celibate and have just a boatload of cum up in your ass, a massive cum buildup. It's not enough to go celibate like that. The energy has to be pulled up through the whole Kundalini into the pineal gland. But even when you pull it up there, it's just the same sperm that's already inside of you. In order for you to activate and charge it, you have to go deep into the root chakra and get these latent substances down there that's dormant.
Like the still water.
Yeah, like the still water, anything. And these latent substances, they hadn't been bouncing around since you was born. Because most of the time when these latent substances, you pull them up whenever you ejaculate, but you push it out of the body. The key here is to keep it in the body and bring it back up like a backfire into the brain. You know, and this is the type of ultimate power. But even if you do so happen to ejaculate, one of the keys to sexual magic is focusing on something and timing it where you come at the same time. So usually the brother has to wait till he get the sister to the certain point. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like most brothers, they get turned on when the sister comes. You know, see one of them quiet motherfuckers that come and don't tell your ass. They done tell you about 8 times and shit. But I'm saying the whole concept is to do the sex tantra where you come at the same time and you focus your point on a particular idea or what you want. And that particular idea that you're focusing on when you come at the same time is the power to get what you want and manifest that idea when you ejaculate at the same time or when you come at the same time. So that's another form of sexual magic. Is whatever you want to kill a motherfucker, y'all just go in there and start fucking. And then if that nigga is in your mind at the same time. But you know how that is when you come in, you know, shit, you don't know what you might be thinking about. So, you know, so hell, you might have to damn practice on that one a couple times and shit so you can get that picture clear, that boss or that nigga out there messing around or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Also, too. So the arrow of Rudra has an arrow that's also the star Sirius. Rudra, all these particular phallus gods all line up, and you can cross-reference these particular gods. Even in the book, The Presence of Shiva, they talk about a cloud that's supposed to be brought on by Rudra, or that is Rudra. Also, this particular black cloud. So this particular cross, this leg bar symbol you see right there, destroys the known universe. But it destroys the known universe either through sexual lust or also anger. So we're talking about using the weapons right through our own mind and our bodies. That anger of the submarine mare is called. And Urba, in his Urba, the physical Shiva, which just means a modern-day priest or magician, through his Kundalini anger, destroys the known universe through his third eye. You'll find that also in the book Shiva, the erotic aesthetic by O'Flaherty's book. So the third eye is also used as a weapon. But one of the keys to use it as a weapon is to charge it with these ojas, shaktis, and kalas through lustful sex. And the orgasm not being the actual, or the ejaculation not being the actual focus, especially for the men. You know, women can orgasm, you see what I'm saying, and all. And don't really lose nothing, you know, you see. So, in so many words, Rudra, which again is the penis and the pineal gland, destroys the triple cities of the Asuras, meaning civilization. Since we are the Asuras and we live down here, the civilization has to be destroyed through the third eye. That's the T. That's why they have to shut that down. The third eye is the great equalizer. And he uses the gun. You see what I'm saying? Also, too. You see, also, too. Dambawala and Ada are the two Sagittarian gods and goddesses known as Shu and Tefnut and Kamite Egyptian. All of these, I'm just breaking down some of these particular things down here. Some of these particular things down here to break down these particular gods. Damawalawedo and Adawedo is known in voodoo knowledge as the Kundalini energy, the twin serpents, the Kundalini energy in male and female, which is a Sagittarian energy, and the black hole that is located in the universe that they're talking about now, they're reporting is coming from the area of Sagittarius. Celestial ship of the north, notice that there's an area of Sagittarius called a coal sack. Now, she wrote her book in the 1940s, so they've been knowing about a black hole being at the center of this particular Milky Way galaxy for years. But that Sagittarian energy they're talking about, that particular black hole is nothing but the energy inside of you, the black dot. And the Sagittarian Kundalini energy that they're talking about here is nothing but Damawala and Adawedo is the Kundalini energy also. Is the Kundalini energy also too. Now, let's see what else we got here. Like I said, there's a deck called a New Orleans Voodoo Tarot deck, which is an excellent deck that you could also get. Tarot deck. The book is actually good also too. But the woman who was a co-author that has a new book out called Voodoo Visions by Sally Ann Glasserman. I highly recommend that particular book also too. But the book New Orleans Tarot deck, the reason why I said the deck, because the book explains how these energies that we call the voodoo are actually the souls that came from the Middle Passage. Came through the Middle Passage. And just as you see, which was a vortex that was opened up, and that's why you see these storms that hit at the end of the summer solstice every year. That's the voodoo energy, you see. So the voodoo is a slave phenomenon put together by revolted slaves and used everything in their power that worked for this spiritual war that kicked Napoleon's ass. So the Gertz Voodoo book puts together a list of movies they talk about that should be seen. The Believers, I talked about that. Angel Heart, Cast a Deadly Spell, The Crow, Ghost, Layer of the White Worm, Live and Let Die, a Bond film that started but fun. The movie Manitou, the movie Nightbreed, Clyde Barker, Serpent in the Rainbow, Sleepwalkers, Wolfen, the Native American shamans fight evil spirits in the city. So these are some of the movies that this book, which is a comic book, supposedly a game book, is interesting that they're trying to pit one system against the other system. Pit one system against the other system also too. Tonight what we're going to do, let me see if we're going to start this thing here. We're going to do this Voodoo Chaos thing. I did this the other week on the 18th. Well, I guess we can recite this thing again and get a little ritual going on the 23rd. What's the date? What's the time?
10:43, July 23rd.
July 23rd, okay. So we're going to recite this thing here. Because the voodoo thing set up the first black republic in the Western Hemisphere. We're going to set up the second black republic tonight, because if there's anything to be done, we're the ones to do it. Because it's also in the complete prophecies of Nostradamus that they talked about this black mighty wrathful hand will destroy America. You see what I'm saying? Will destroy America also too. So we're going to do that in a few minutes also too. I just want to see a couple other things right now. See if there's any other thing here. I'm trying to see. And in so many words, what I did was I did a series of things that actually worked. And like I said before, I did a series of rituals, and I hit home with this voodoo thing. But I want to go into something right quick and give you an account on how powerful this stuff is. I want to go into this right quick. Let me just read some of this stuff here. The Typhonian Egyptians was the pre-dynastic Egyptians, and what they did, let me get this right, see if I got enough stuff. Yeah, let me get some other stuff here. You're going to find also in the voodoo, they got two twin spirits called a Marasha, and they're the head of all mysteries and the purest form. And they're called the Marasha twin spirits also too. And they're also to either be called before a leg bar or after a leg bar also. So it would be a form of the Sphinx or Harmar Coup. The Typhonian Egyptians were the pre-dynastic Egyptians. And these Egyptians or Kamites possessed rituals that could destroy the earth, and they led a revolt against what they call the so-called sun gods, or the demiurge, or the jailers. So in so many words, there's a group of, we talked about this several times before, these group of entities that lord over us and keep us as subjects. Well, the Typhonians, come to find out, in prehistory, led a revolt against them with some ancient rituals that they had to destroy shit. But they were met by their fellow younger Egyptians in the dynastic part and were defeated. So you hear about the war between the two, the Egyptians, the upper and the lower, and were defeated. And pushed most of the pre-dynastic Egyptians of Kemet out into Mesopotamia, Greece, Arabia, or on into Kush, Nubia, or whatever. And most of these particular rituals that they had were destroyed. You see what I'm saying? Were destroyed, most of the magical texts. This returning this voodoo and piecing back together of these particular spiritual texts, of these particular aspects that was in Haiti, represents the key to set up the new wars, to try to actually bring this shit back. The problem here is that the fellow Haitian brothers can't do it because their whole mindset is based on survival. They're not it's something about when you grow up in a city, it's everybody look like you, or a country where everybody look like you. Sometimes you don't focus on the enemy the same way. And then it goes back down to the enemy just being your just fellow man. That kind of shit. There's only one people that truly know the beast. And that's us. And most of that's questionable whether we know him or not. You see. So this aspect here of trying to do this particular ritual to try to get some results can only be done by us. The Typhonian war against the New Ra worshippers is told in some surviving texts, such as The Destruction of Mankind and the book The War of Gods and Men by Zachariah Sitchin, goes into this particular thing. The Typhonian mysteries tried to reestablish this particular science in the 26th dynasty under the priest Occult and the Khonsu. for a brief part of time, but finally was revived in 1904 as AWAS under the Book of the Law, which you know of as which is the crawly thing. And might I add that it was 100 years after the Haitian Revolution in 1804 that this thing was, this Book of the Law came out in 1904. So right now what we want to do is we want to go into a little ritualistic thing, and for the ones that want to do it, just repeat after me. And we want to deal with this. And just repeat after me to get this energy going. Because this particular time, we should use this 23rd as a part of trying to do something. So, y'all bear with me. Let me get this one aspect that I want you to repeat after me. Okay. Okay. So y'all ready? Okay. Power of the black hole.
Power of the black hole.
So y'all do this kind of loud. Okay. Power of the black hole.
Power of the black hole.
Power of APEP lower.
Power of APEP lower.
Power of the black hole.
Power of the black hole.
Power of Rudra lower.
Power of Rudra lower.
Power of the black hole.
Power of the black hole.
Power of Set lower.
Power of Set lower.
Power of the black hole.
Power of the black hole.
Power of Sebek lower.
Power of Sebek lower.
Power of the black hole.
Power of the black hole.
Power of AWAS lower.
Power of AWAS lower.
Power of the black hole.
Power of the black hole.
Power of Typhon lower.
Power of Typhon lower.
Power of the black hole.
Power of the black hole.
Power of Leviathan lower.
Power of the Leviathan lower.
Power of the black hole.
Power of the black hole.
Power of Septinu lower.
Power of Septinu lower.
Power of the black hole.
Power of the black hole.
Power of Vertra lower.
Power of Virtue lower.
Power of the black hole.
Power of the black hole.
Okay, hold on. Power of Sekhmet lower.
Power of Sekhmet lower.
Okay. Let me see. Power of the black hole.
Power of the black hole.
That is the power of the black dot in us.
That is the power of the black dot.
Suck us now into Das.
Suck us down into dark.
Suck us now into Das.
Suck us down into dark.
This is the power of the Yani and the Linga.
This is the power of the Don and the lady.
Setinu pillar.
Second to the pillar.
And the power of Shiva.
And the power of Shiva.
Lower.
Lower.
Suck the universe to destruction.
Suck the universe to destruction.
Okay. We ignite Sekhmet
We ignite Sekhmet.
and raise raise the second Aru,
Raise the second Aru.
the new supreme kingdom.
The new supreme kingdom.
Okay, now this particular thing here is an introduction into the lower spirits, which is these African spirits of protection. Now, once you're introduced into this particular part, this means in actuality you become a family of the lower, and the only thing you have to do is just go and get like the secrets of voodoo or anything you can get on voodoo, and basically write up your own ritual. And in so many words, this stuff will work for you. But the introduction, you repeat after me, and this introduces you into the hoodoo spirit. Okay. O light, there is no darkness in the powers of the dead.
O light, there is no darkness in the powers of the dead.
O light, I am a child of light of the great master under the sea.
I am the child of the power, great light, master.
Okay, let me do that one again. O light, I am a child of light.
O light, I am a child of light.
Of the great master under the sea.
Of the great master under the sea.
Medium of Holy Spirits,
Holy Spirit.
the waters below,
The waters below.
and beneath all worlds,
And beneath all worlds.
Holy Spirits of the dead,
Holy spirits of the dead.
and the seas,
And the seas.
I am here
I am here
to serve you.
to serve you.
of the spirits,
I dedicate myself to the service of the spirits,
the wonderful spirits of the dead ones
the wonderful spirits of the dead ones
who seek to help me.
who seek to help me,
And those wonderful spirits,
and those wonderful spirits,
wise magicians from under the sea,
wise magicians from under the sea,
who come in strange forms,
who come in strange forms.
I ask the help, I ask the help and the presence of the hoodoo spirits.
I ask the help and the presence of the spirits.
And I call upon all beings of hoodoo to aid and assist me.
I call all beings of hoodoo to aid and assist.
And I offer myself to the service of the great king,
And I offer myself to the service of the great King,
of the dead who rules over the spirits of the dead.
of the dead who rules over the spirit of the dead.
And I offer myself to the service of the great master,
and I offer myself to the service of the great Master,
of the magician spirits who are working under the invisible seas.
and magician spirits who work under the visible seas.
I honor all spirits, and especially those of the hoodoo science.
All spirits, especially those of the science.
And I seek especially to work with now and forever.
I seek especially to work with
Now,
now and forever.
Ashe.
I say,
Now what this does is, and we've had a lot of success with this the next day of it, what this does is, when you line up with stuff of your African origin, they're real pleased with it. And for the mere fact that we come about at this particular day, at this particular time, the year 2000, and in an election to do this type of stuff, this stuff actually works. So therefore, only thing you would have to do is I got some bebes, which is these things here, and you can set them up, and you can get a feel on it on basis of some of these books you get on the voodoo thing, and write out your own ritual. You see what I'm saying? Write out your own ritual. So let me, I'm gonna give them the four corners to give them some energy on this.
I said. I said. I said.
All right. And I'm drinking all out your bottle, man. Shit, you sure you want this shit?
Alcohol kills all bacteria.
That's right. So, I just want to go through that whole voodoo thing. So right now, what I want to do is, I want to go into a question and answer, period. And we can get the ball rolling on that. The ball rolling on that now. You got any questions? Treated you to convert it, huh? What's that?
how do you, I mean, I in my room I have, you know, stuff on the
Yeah.
wall and everything.
Yeah.
How I know this shit is working? I mean, how do I know? I mean, you know, do I have, I don't know, do I have to do something to really set it off?
Let me tell you a good way to do the shit.
I know people don't want to come to my room no more. I know that. Maybe that's the indication.
Let me tell you a good way to do stuff. We'll come in and we'll do a poetic ritual like that one says did, but that's good for this particular outside thing or whatever. But remember, these spirits are the same spirit is inside of you, is those spirits. And a lot of those spirits are in you. The good thing to do sometime is you light the candles. Get you some 7 days. You light them. You blow the rum. And if you want, you can pour libations. But what I do sometimes, like I did this week, I just went up in the room and I just started talking to them just like I'm talking to you. I said, look, I need to know some shit now on some situations that I need to know something about. I need to know is this the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. And y'all come on with it now. I need to know this shit like that. A couple of minutes the phone rang and the sister from Detroit, who was the psychic, said, you just called me. See how that goes? So one of the keys now is not to use it as a ritualistic majestic form, but to look on them is the same as a 4 niggas sitting up in your room, or 5 niggas sitting up in your damn room. And then you get some results. Whenever you just start talking, you see what I'm saying? As if these are regular humans, because they are, in so many words, but they just don't have a physical body, you have a physical body. So you can join as one. But you charge them with the rum and all that type of stuff. But that's one of the keys to this particular thing is, break it down to the least common denominator. Don't look at them as something to help. Look at you all as being one of the same game. And they have the ability to do certain things out of the body, just like you have to do certain things in the body. And it becomes all one. You see what I'm saying? Like that. It becomes all one. If you start just talking to somebody regular, like you're talking to somebody in the room, then it's highly unlikely that it won't work. Because the simple fact that you've taken it to the personal level. You see what I'm saying? You have made reality out of that which you can't see. You see what I'm saying? And that's how this thing works. You see, that's how this thing works. I think that's one of the, to just go right straight down and just be honest about it. Even if you got to curse on that, curse at it.
Tap into it.
But you got to tap into it. Because remember now, your soul is just as old as theirs.
Tap.
Right. So, in so many words, you cannot be a subordinate in this.
Hell no.
As a matter of fact, you have earned the right to command. You see, to command. Which is in reason to command. You know what I'm saying and all. You know, they ain't gonna give you no big helicopter outside your goddamn house. You know. Which in reason. You know. Or whatever the deal is. Give me some more questions. Any more questions?
This book is this book by Zachariah Sitchin, The Wars of Gods and Men.
Yeah.
You said this is a replicator of the war between the Typhonians and
Right.
the priests of
True
Ra.
priesthood.
Oh.
Ra and them. Because they're talking about the followers of Seth and the followers, and so these was priesthood. One was just happened to be older than the other, and the younger one usurped the power. You see, that's what the whole thing is about. Even the destruction of mankind. When they talk about the people who conspired against Ra, and it could be a multi-level. I used to think it was a white man, but hell, he wasn't even around at that time. But people who just conspired against Ra was the priesthood that was opposite Ra, which was the Typhonian. You see, which is the oldest? Typhonians. Which has all your stuff in India is Typhonian in origin. All your stuff in Greece. All that stuff in Babylonia or Persia or whatever. All that stuff, but the Typhonians went out of Kemet and started these other civilizations. But one of the best representations of that stuff is the stuff in India. And don't separate it from the Buddhists. That's later. We're talking about the earlier shit, your Mahabharata, your Rig Veda being your oldest, your Mahabharata, and maybe your Upanishads. And then there's other books like the Ashtar Veda, Ramayana, and those. But your three main books is your Upanishad, which is your later one, but still cohesive enough to have a lot of insight. Your Mahabharata, which is a story, but it has a lot of stuff. And your Rig Veda. In your Rig Veda. All that's coming out of Kemet. You see what I'm saying? All that's coming out of Kemet. You see what I'm saying? And then we even got origins. They even talk about origins of the Hebrew thing might have come out of India. Because you got Abraham, you got Brahma. You got a Shiva in India, and then you got the Queen of Shiva in the feminine element. There's so much. So they wrote a big old book on the whole creation story Hebrew and the creation story Vedic. So, you know, a lot of this stuff was all tied into the same damn family. But then again, we got links of the Hebrews being Cushite, and we know that India is in this Kush. You see, your whole Dravidian in your Indus Valley. So Indus Valley. Give me some more questions.
The celestial ship of the north.
Yes.
Represents also this black cloud.
There's a book.
By Strayhorn. What is she talking about in that book? The book that she wrote.
Which one?
By Strayhorn. Celestial ship of the north.
Oh, Stranton.
Excuse me, Stranton.
Oh, that book has a lot of stuff in it. I mean, it's jam-packed. One section is the historical stuff based on the Jeremiah stuff, and the other stuff is the astrological stuff. With Blavatsky and all that, but the book is a must-have. The book is a must-have. The Celestial Ship of the North. I discovered it in '93, and I introduced it to a lot of people. Been getting it since then, but it's a must-have. It's a must-have. Yeah.
It teaches me how mythology is really like a lot of truth.
Yeah.
And like nowadays we look for a lot of stories that happen. We look at the literal. I got this out of that. But we look at the literal and think there's a lot of truth in it. That's where we get our falsehoods from. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, but mythology is science.
Right.
If you don't think so, try to get through portions of it, and you'll see. White boy get a PhD in mythology. We think it's some bullshit.
Right.
We think it's some bullshit. We come in CPAs and all kind of dumb shit. I mean, well, that's all right, but I mean, damn. Why does he get a PhD in mythology? You see, that kind of stuff. We in fundraising and shit for the crackers. Yeah. Any more questions? Yeah.
As an artist, one who creates images and symbols,
Yeah.
is there any aspect of your knowledge, input on art, on symbols or art, things that we create?
That's a lot. Me being an artist and a trained artist also. I ran up against a wall back in the right before I started lecturing. 91, I ran up against the wall. I had mastered photorealism. Wait. In 91, you had to look like this up close to see whether it was a doggone photograph. It was scary. That's how I perfected it. But the misfortune about that is there's not much creativity in that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I literally burned out on this shit. Wasn't no creativity. And I got bored with it after taking the majority of my life at that time to perfect it. And I actually perfected it in high school, but by the time I got out of college, which didn't really help me, just by the time I turned, when I was 29, it was down to the point where it was literally, you had to take a magnifying glass. But it was beautiful drafting skill. There was no creativity at all. And now, if I did go back to it, all of this esoteric material and surrealism and stuff of alternative dimensions and shit can be incorporated back into that stuff. Your boy Geiger wrote the Necronomicon. He did a version of Necronomicon 1 and 2. And he deals with this surrealistic shit, like Salvador Dali and all that type of stuff. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of emphasis on the occult art of it. There's a book out called The Art of Voodoo. It has a lot of good stuff in it and stuff. But we're talking about, if art is to be done now, it has to be spiritual, multidimensional shit. Because even the basic African art that we have now is getting old and tired. So what we need is some shit where a motherfucker look into a doggone picture and go to trance. Now, one good example is Crawley's Tarot deck. The god Awat, black man, gave him the dimensions to put it down, and the woman Frida Harris drew them in the 50s, I believe, or the late 40s. This is his last book, the Thoth deck. But you can clearly see the deck, and you can see multi-dimensional pictures going on in the Thoth deck. Real beautiful deck. And all right, And although there's a lot of real beautiful decks out here, the third deck is still, it's the most authentic as far as the stuff put back in it from the Crawley deck. So from AWAS, this entity that put a lot of stuff back in it. So one thing I'm saying is, that's something he will look into, is just based on how the tarot and the imagery is set up as a metaphysical means. And I think one of the best ones is the Thoth book, Crawley's Book of Thoth, and the Thoth deck, which just to see the beauty of the art in the damn cards is unbelievable. So this is some stuff I would also say it is very valuable if we could tap into it.
Another question that comes to mind while you were talking is that these new fads, I don't know if it's been around a while, but I think with the new technology of computers and what have you, it is something worth thinking about and talking about as far as the authentic. And that is these posters that you have to look at in another way of seeing the imagery hidden.
Yeah.
That's something that drew my attention a lot.
Yeah.
And I think with the computer knowledge that's on here now, and high technology, those are imagery that may be I don't know, used as a weapon.
Well, you know what? I think that what it is those imageries of what was on the TV screen. They just magnified that shit.
Exactly.
So this shit is going on every day. And stuff. And they just magnified it. Yeah, and you're right. Down to anything, man. In Atlanta, they had a project. And this project be the one where they always shooting up each other. But it was the only one that was painted in a big old light beige. And that old bright ass color triggered all kind of down pathological behavior in the people. Whereas even in a damn baby child room, you better think that boy room blue. If you put him in the pink room like the girl, he's liable to tear that motherfucker down. You know what I'm saying? So there is effects on things, all kind of things. So I'm saying, yeah, all of that, all of that type of thing, stuff that's actually happened.
So in other words, like I could easily use my creativity as a part of my ritual, or anyone else who may have poetry or song or whatever.
And not only that, too, the art comes out of her metaphysics, which is the alchemy. And they used to do this artistic stuff, because a magician in the ancient world was an artist too. An artist, when they lumped this shit together, they say we got the people over here to do the magic in ancient Kemet and all. The artist was a part of that. Case in point, you look at that Egyptian shit on them temples, and you are transformed. Something just grabs your ass. And, they were the most descriptive. You got Africans that's got a lot of abstract stuff that's even just go even deeper. But the point I'm trying to make here is there's a lot of stuff that could be explored in that visually. See, the sky's the limit on that. If a person has the time to do it. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot that can be explored into that particular stuff. And they got certain videos on the occult, and they got the section where they have the occult art. The occult art and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff like that that can very well be explored. The sky's the limit on it. As a matter of fact, that's one of the only dimensions we as black people have explored. We're still into reproducing a certain amount. Even if we say we want to tell a story, we would take the pictorial thing to tell a story. But we don't just really get into this way out shit. And when we get into way out shit, we get into white people way out shit. All that crazy stuff. Without breaking it down somewhere where literally you're controlling somebody's mind. Because when you go see the X-Men, you're going to find out that the most powerful one in the movie, Storm was the elemental force, so naturally she's going to be powerful. But they played her down in the movie with a power. She's the only one that can bring lightning from the damn sky. But you're going to find out that the three powerful ones in the movie was Professor X, the villain and the girl that Professor X was training, because they could all use mind control by thought. You see. And that's telepathy. So, mind control can be on a double side, good or evil. The priests used to use the shit just like they showed you in Star Wars, the Jedi mind tricks. But we're also talking about it being done in a form of art, and I've seen some of this stuff in occult art also too. There's a book called Inner Visions by Neville Dury. He shows all this type of occult art. Any type of book you get by Neville Dury. Neville Dury, if you find in his books in print, one called Inner Visions. There's several books, but he focuses heavy on occult art. Now, there's a lot of white people doing the occult art. What we need is somebody black to be doing this shit. Because the white people do the occult art and the shit is bad, but they're going to use their own figure. You see what I'm saying? They're going to use their own figure. So, that's the thing that needs to be done. You see. Any type of alternative reality. You see. Give me some questions. What's that? Okay.
Yeah. I was listening to a few of your lectures before, right? And I listened to a brother named Hakeem Bey.
Yeah.
And you were saying that you was basically making a link between the Atlantis stuff and Egyptian stuff, right? And I wanted to know, he did the same thing. And I wanted to know if there was any documentation for that.
On Atlantis?
Yeah, for the link between the Egyptian period of history and carrying over from the Atlantis period.
There's a lot of books. Louis Spence's book, History of Atlantis. Louis Spence's book, The Occult Sciences of Atlantis, which is the one that always is out of print, which is the best one. Occult Sciences. Rudolf Steiner's book, Atlantis in Memoria, which he gives the whole Yakub story.
Okay.
There's another book called Beyond the Big Bang. Purple book, came out in 97 or 96. Beyond the Big Bang. And they go into the Atlantis thing and explains that it's a part of our subconscious mind too. Our subconscious mind. But some of the best work is any of your shit by Rudolf Steiner. Cosmic Memory, excellent. Universe, Earth, and Man, excellent. I highly recommend those two. He had a lot of scholarly document work, but Adolf Hitler and them burnt down his whole fucking damn society and burnt up all the damn scholarly documents. And he later on died a year later, heartbroken. But they went back and recorded all of his lectures. And Universe, Earth, and Man is one of the best books out here. That one and Cosmic Memory on their cosmic records and all of that type of stuff. That's some of the best Atlantean shit. Is Rudolf Steiner stuff. He's German, so you have to be patient with his ass. It would be fine if he was just writing in the regular scholarship on paper, but they had to copy his shit from a lecture, so that's some real German shit coming out of his mouth.
You mentioned, as we was talking about occult symbols, and whenever you mentioned Adolf Hitler,
Yeah.
the symbol that he uses,
Yeah.
swastika,
Yeah.
called swastika. Could you give us the background of that?
Swastika is in every culture. It's called the whirling cross. The whirling cross. It is the first letter in the Hebrew alphabet. Aleph. It's on the Egyptian temples. It's in Native America. It's in all indigenous cultures have the whirling cross. Now, supposedly Hitler took it and turned it backwards, where the flow is going backwards. Which is still cool, depends on what side you're on, because that's chaos. Because there ain't no such thing as no right and wrong. So, but the swastika is ancient ancient African symbol, and it's in all cultures. You see. So they say he turned it backwards, which to me is still good also. You see what I'm saying? One represents nature, one represents destruction. Well, it depends on what level of the spectrum are you in. If you're in the level of the spectrum of, if you're in the level of the spectrum of, that this shit is all messed up, then hell, that symbol is pretty damn good. You see, so, yeah, but he was a part of the Thule Society and the Guerrilla Society. Good book, Adolf Hitler, Black Magician, by Gerald Schuster, which is an excellent book on that. That particular book on the occult thing, it deals with a lot of that particular science on what is, you know, his affiliation with the different occult societies. There's several books out on the occult aspect of Adolf Hitler. Spear of Destiny, Trevor Ravenscroft. There's a book called Arctos by Jocelyn Goodwin. That's an excellent book because it deals with it deals with everything, man. What they was really into in these secret societies. Arctos, Jocelyn Goodwin, or Godwin. One of them, Godwin or Goodwin. Arctos, and it really goes into the doctrine behind what they believe. And a lot of this shit was on the money, too. That whole Jews and Hitler thing was shit that they just threw up in there. They probably got paid by the Jews to do it. You see? So yeah, but yeah, he has a lot of that particular stuff. Your eagle that's holding the swastika, you'll see the same falcon holding a disc in Kemet. You see? You know, holding a disc is on the money.
So that whole use, you see a lot of that whole use, not only in America, but throughout all of the European empires and what have you, they did the same thing.
Yeah, well, you know, it's because it was all, it's all a part of the secret societies and the information that was left behind by the Moors. I mean, the Moors is the people who taught all this, and they preserved the energy. And all those secret societies were left behind by the Moors. Yeah. What's that?
Where do the Moors directly lineage from? Where can you trace them back? What type of documentation?
The documentation I got is the Moors came from several places and united under Islam.
Oh, okay.
It was a consortium of priesthoods. Some from the Temple of Komongo in ancient Kemet, Temple of Aset in ancient Kemet, some from the whole Mediterranean, and basically what they did, some from Rome, because they talk about all them in the different things, and Morocco. What they basically did was they used Islam not as a religion that they believed in, because clearly their texts and shit was above that. That's what people get confused. They use Islam the same as you could be a professional and deal with a lot of things, but you could be in the Republican Party or the Democrat Party. It was only a political system to come to unite under a banner and then unite the people in Europe. They understood that they was going to civilize these savage people. They showed you in the movie 13th Warrior. The Muslim had to go up. They would use Islam because it was a submission type religion too. You could use that as a form to tame the savage beast. But they were more interested in giving the sciences, and Islam was just a political system. So I think a lot of people get that mixed up. You see, how did the Moors introduce all this stuff and be Islamic when we don't see this in the Islamic world? That was just a political thing. They were scientists, you know. And we don't understand that you can be under religion and it can just be a political instrument and not necessarily what you believe in. And most people we know do that to this day. Go to church. But no, but right now, if you say, let's go to heaven, Every last one of them never come back to that damn church. Nobody want to go to no heaven or hell. But heaven is just as an inconceivable idea as hell. When you come to somebody crying, if death is on the end of that. Shit. If you told them, well, look, we're going to make this hell on earth. They would rather have hell on earth with a spike sticking through their butt cheeks than you killing their ass. And they don't understand that the only thing there is death. You see what I'm saying? Also, too, I forgot what my initial question was. Yeah, the more thing, yeah. Give me some more questions.
I was thinking that maybe, you know that, more of the sciences, that came from the Black Temple, and that he said that their mission was to go and civilize
Yeah.
the Europeans. That's why you come to Irish and Scottish and
Yeah.
all them people, they have like black blood down the
Yeah.
line
Mm-hmm.
because of the wars.
Yeah.
And once they got the knowledge, then they started on their self-destructive path and started destroying the wars and killing them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's that?
Why ask that? Because I'm reading a book now, God Wills a Negro, and what he's saying is that we here in this country come from a distinct group of people, unlike other Africans on the continent. We're coming from, I don't know how true, I don't know, that's just his proposition that, we just didn't come from all over the place.
I would believe that, because there's one thing that separates us, and his book makes it clear, that there is the Camite element. See what I'm saying? Sometimes I tend to believe a lot of that stuff because based on the time he wrote it, I know that there's a lot of things that spiritually go into it. See what I'm saying? A lot of things that spiritually go into it. But dealing with the Hermetic text, the Hermetic text said that there will be a modern-day Egyptian supplanted in the West. That's what the Hermetic text says, which is the Egyptian text. So, based on what the text says, out of Egypt I will call my son. But these modern-day Camites will be in the West. His shit is right on the money, based on what the text says. That's the prophecy came true. You see? So yeah, exactly. What's that?
This Hebrew brother at my job, he knows like the Old Testament, like the back of his hand.
Yeah.
He constantly talks about sometimes how we over here in this country, the black people, it's something all about us in the West, and how they're talking about us, and like you can't come from, it's not talking about all black people all over this planet in general, and that sounds like what, this reminded me what he just started talking about, that just reminded me of that guy constantly talking about us right here. I listen, because it sounds.
Well, you know what? In actuality, it used to be a damn theory.
Right.
But look like now, what few of us there is making that shit come true. Because ain't nobody else on the planet doing nothing. And one thing about the African, he's in retreat from Africa. And shoot, Jesus, the white man. So in so many words, we're talking about a reality being that this is 2000. And look like if anything is to jump off, from now on, it's going to be us, and we can damn near say us in America. Because I just don't see it. Like John Henry Clark, God bless his soul, before he died, he said if it's going to be somebody, it's going to be us. You see what I'm saying? I just don't see the element, and I'm saying I don't see it with us in man. But I'm saying what little minute part there is, you best believe it's us that's going to do it. It might be piss poor, few thousand black people in the United States or a few hundred. Maybe a few thousand. But then when you break it down to the one sincerity, a few hundred. And then if you go on down, that they say to find a real black man, you're going to have to go to a museum. But wherever it's going to be, you best believe it's going to be here. And that's very interesting because we was making this argument out in California, and the guy was saying, why is it that when we speak on liberation, we always speak on the Africans in America doing it? And I'm saying, look, man, like this girl from Ethiopia told me. She said, we're talking about people whose whole concept is based on survival only. They don't have room for nothing else. Their whole social pattern is set up for survival.
That's what we said.
I'm just saying, and that's just the Africans. Now with us, we got so many distractions. But the key here is, and I'm breaking this shit down, I believe that the element of knowing who this white man was is paramount. And also some people say that's a crutch. My point is, look at the side effects of not knowing. You understand what I'm saying? Because not knowing who the white man is not knowing that you're oppressed at all. I remember one girl say, who's oppressed? You see? So that's the key about this shit here. If it's going to go down, it's going to go down with us. As a matter of fact, we're not having these meetings for nothing not to go down. You see, for nothing not to go down. We don't accept no substance. And not only that, we're not talking about our children. If it's left up to our children, we fucked. I ain't that optimistic about them motherfuckers. I wouldn't trust them bastards no more than I can throw them. You can do all that love your child all year you want to. Shit.
I feel the same way about my age.
If it was supposed to go down with the children, they would have got the information. This shit's supposed to go down, and it's supposed to go down with us. And like I say, never look past 3 weeks. You know, never look past 3 weeks. I don't look for no future no more. I don't give a shit about the future. Somebody say, what about the future? But I say, look, man, if 10 years pass and I'm still here, the least of my goddamn problems is what I'm going to be doing. If I'm still down this shit, give me a TV in the crazy house, a goddamn bedpan. That will suffice. But give me a whole bunch of goddamn chemical drugs, chemical alternatives.
Throw back out.
But if I'm down this motherfucker, the future is the least of my damn worries. First of all, I'm gonna be mad as shit at somebody. Come God, come myself, come who? You know? Shit. That's the problem, how they got us in slavery. We always looking for our kids to do some shit that we didn't do. Here you got the opportunity and the knowledge and you studying this shit to do something, and yet you're going to give it to a motherfucker who don't want to do it, that might resent you, get it?